Welcome back to Open Med School. In the last session, we had discussed about various types of memory. Today, I'll be discussing about why does memory go wrong. As per Daniel Asher, there are 7 sins of memory, or these are errors that occur in memory, and there are some patterns. So let's look into the original description of the 7 sins of memory. They can be divided into 2 types: sins of omission or forgetting, and sins of commission or erase that is occurring. So let us go one by one. The first one is transience. The memory is transient. You use it or you lose it. Memory fades with time. And there is a famous curve of forgetting by Hermann Ebbinghaus. So here you can see that if you don't rehearse it, the memory will fade rapidly during the first one day and then slowly. Suppose you again revise it, you can see that by repeated revisions, the amount of memory that can be retained is very high. So this is very important, especially for students. So if you learn something and you forget it, unless you rehearse it. That is what is meant by if you don't revise, your brain will delete it. This happens during exams. After an examination, everything is gone. The second problem or the error, not error actually, it is an omission, is absent-mindedness. So here what is happening, it is an attention failure, not actually a failure in memory. For example, you are driving, use the mobile and you forget what you have read it because you are not attended to it fully. So you didn't store memory properly. For example, you keep the key somewhere, mobile over the fridge, you forget it because you have not paid attention to keeping this. It's a very common thing. The third error of omission is blocking, or sometimes called the tip of the tongue phenomenon. It is there, it is stuck there, you can't retrieve it. So brain knows, but the mouth doesn't find it, and brain is searching. That is the tip of the tongue phenomenon. The fourth one is misattribution. A wrong source. Memory is right, but the source is wrong. So it's a misattribution. It's again very common. You think that one of your friends have told something, but actually you might have heard it from someone else or seen in the WhatsApp or YouTube. So memory is right, but the source attributed is wrong. Brain can mix sources of information. Memory is correct. For example, the deja vu phenomenon. That is, a place may appear familiar to you, or thinking a friend told you something, but actually you heard it in the TV. So these are all examples. The brain mixes the source of information and attribute to the wrong source. The memory is correct. Thinking a WhatsApp message as coming from a friend. Actually, this is what is happening. Then another error in memory, the fifth error or fifth sin, is suggestibility. People can change your memory. This often occurs during interrogations, in the police station, in the court. So this is again another example is the Drishyam film. Others can plant ideas into your memory. So we will be asked, you saw the red car, right? You start believing it. If you repeatedly ask like this in the court that is why eyewitnesses may not be accurate. Memory changes due to external suggestion. So this is being utilized in management techniques, in the leading questions in the court, and again very common to have false childhood memories. So eyewitnesses testimony can be unreliable sometimes. So suggestibility is very common. People can plant memory into your memory. Next sin, an error of commitment is bias. The present influences the past. Suppose you have got a idea related to a political organization, religious organization, everything that is being said about them, you think that it is bad. This can occur in politics, can occur in relationships, because your bias, your knowledge or your thinking about something influences the past. This can happen in breakups. Following a breakup, you think that everything what the other partner has done is wrong. Current beliefs reshape the past memories. I always knew this will happen. You are always bad. These are all commits, memories, or the statements occurring from your bias. As mentioned, this can occur in politics, relationships, and in personal history. Then another very important is usually memory fades. Here, persistence of memory, unwanted memories. Memories fail sometimes, but sometimes it is very strong. Memory that won't go. Suppose there is a very bad experience in your life, failed in the examination, or a personal incident that has occurred in childhood. These are recurring into your memory. It will be intruding into your memory. So trauma flashbacks, post-stroke symptoms, post-traumatic symptoms. Immediately following a trauma, it is normal to experience, but it can come as flashback, can occur in nightmares. Intrusive thoughts will occur. When a normal trauma response becomes chronic, it becomes a post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. So it may affect your sleep, your behavior, your relationship with others. So in short, the 7 sins of memory, one is the transience. What is the advantage? It removes the clutter. If you remember everything, your life will be miserable. Bias, it maintains some identity. Misattribution, it can enable creativity. Suggestibility, the social learning, you learn from others. Persistence, for example, you see a snake, the emotional response that occurs will avoid danger. So there are some benefits of the sins of memory. A constructive memory is not always reliable, but it is highly functional. So our memories are not always that like a camera or a photograph. Memory involves encoding, storage, and retrieval. Different systems work together. Neurological disorders may impair memory. As mentioned, memory is not a camera, it is storyteller. Stay tuned for further videos on memory.